Hi there, Jasmine from Redwood Financial, and this week's frequently asked question is, do I need to use an expert to put in place my estate planning? That's a really good question. In terms of legally, actually, no, you don't. Anyone can write their own will and draft their own lasting powers of attorney. You don't have to use a will writer, estate planner, or solicitor. But just because you can do something doesn't mean to say that you should do something. In terms of taking professional advice, I think it's really important to understand that estate planning is so much more than just making a will. Actually, estate planning is looking at your whole estate and how we can protect it for you and your loved ones against things like inheritance tax, care fees, divorce, and relationship breakdowns. It's more than just simply writing a will, and it's also making sure that you're protected with important things like lasting powers of attorney. So, taking that professional advice to begin with, so you understand all of your options and all of the solutions that are available to you, I think is absolutely essential. If once you've understood all of that, you feel that you don't need to worry about the protection of trusts and things like that, and you just want to draft a simple basic will, then you might feel comfortable doing it yourself, and that's absolutely fine. But it's about making that informed decision. Using a professional expert as well means that you have other protection in place that you wouldn't have if you tried to do things yourself. And that's about making sure that you're protected in the event that something goes wrong. What if your will's not been executed properly or your lasting powers of attorney haven't been set up in the right way? If you're doing it yourself, you've got no one to come back to. But if you've used a professional, you've got recourse and you've got a firm that you can hold accountable, which is really important. But also, what if your wills or your lasting powers of attorney become contested? Again, if you're no longer around, who is going to be able to defend these legal documents in court if you haven't used a professional? A professional advisor will make sure that they have detailed records and a file with all of your wishes, all of the things that they did to check that you had mental capacity, and they'll be in the best position to defend your estate planning if you find your estate being challenged in court after you've gone. So there's actually some extra protection that comes with using a professional. And on top of that, and I think most importantly, this is a hugely complex area of law and it can be a bit of a minefield, but it's also really important that we get this stuff right. We need to make sure that our legal documents are drafted and executed correctly. Using a professional means they're going to check everything once it's done before it's fully signed off. But also, you might be concerned about and not sure who you should be appointing as your executors, your trustees, and your powers of attorney. You're giving a huge amount of power to these people and you're giving them a huge amount of trust to make sure that they follow your wishes, they look after your best interests, and make sure that your beneficiaries are the ones who ultimately receive everything after you die. So, a professional is there to guide you through understanding all of those different roles and who's the best people to appoint for those roles that they're about to undertake and help you make those important decisions. So, really, having that professional advice and guidance, I think, is invaluable in the estate planning process and absolutely will help avoid lots of mistakes that we see commonly, time and time again, when people do a DIY job for their wills and estate planning. For more information, we've written an interesting article on, I think, the 17 most common mistakes that we see in people's estate planning when they try and do it themselves. And there's lots more information as well on our Wills, Trust and Estate Planning webinar, which is free to attend and watch for more information. So hopefully that was useful. And I look forward to sharing with you next week's frequently asked question. Bye for now.